And tonight, our top story, another new lawsuit filed today against LMPD, again from one of their own. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us a little bit late here on the WHAS 11 Night Team. I'm Doug Proffitt. This Metro police officer was suing the department after he was shot in the line of duty, claiming it happened because LMPD officers shot and killed Breonna Taylor in 2020. WHAS 11 Night Team's Alex Dieterer and photojournalist Levi Hammer are right here. And Alex, you interviewed him today. You know, people will not forget the night he was shot. It was one of the most intense in the Breonna Taylor case. It was decision day by Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron.
Right, Doug. Robinson DeRoches is a 5-year LMPD veteran, and he told me today that he wanted to file this lawsuit to take a stand on behalf of his officers. And like you said, it started more than 4 years ago when DeRoches was shot at the Breonna Taylor protests right on Brook and Broadway. And a warning, some of this video may be hard to watch.
All I can remember is just hearing, aerial bangs go off. That's when I felt something hit my abdomen and fell back that night.
The night of September 23, 2020, the day Daniel Cameron announced his decision not to charge any officers with Breonna Taylor's killing. Broadway and Brook. Robinson DeRoches was one of the 2 LMPD officers shot during the Breonna Taylor protests.
I called for my mom several times that night.
His recovery took a year before he was able to make it back to work. Now, 4 years later, DeRoches is suing LMPD for racial and disability discrimination.
He told them the truth was he was shot because LMPD killed Breonna Taylor and failed to promptly release accurate information to the community about that.
Attorney Sarah Collins filed the lawsuit.
He was shot in the line of duty, and the very department for which he shed his blood has re-traumatized and harassed him over and over and over based on race and disability.
The lawsuit claims that after DeRoches returned to work, he was pressured as a black officer to stay silent.
I believe there's division everywhere, but with us officers during that time, 2020, it just showed a lot of people's true colors.
The lawsuit alleges DeRoches was offered a high-profile role, claiming they wanted to use his, quote, experience of a black officer shot in the line of duty during the 2020 riots as a platform for which he would regularly be featured in the media and at community events to improve LMPD's publicity and recruitment efforts.
I wanted to prove to the Haitian community here and to my family that you can still become a police officer and still do the right thing and stand up for the truth.
The lawsuit claims DeRoches showed signs of PTSD, struggling with loud noises and crowds. Other officers noticed this and reached out for peer support services. The lawsuit claims the peer support commander said in reply that she believed that he was playing the system. The lawsuit goes on to say DeRoches was offered no peer support or intervention measures.
Officers who are going through trauma are penalized for speaking up and penalized for actions that are clearly consistent with trauma.
In response to the lawsuit, LMPD said, quote, the department takes seriously any accusations of harassment and or discrimination. When employees injured in the line of duty are ready to return to work, LMPD strives to provide reasonable accommodations to place the employee in alternative roles in the department until they're cleared by a doctor to return to full duty.
I'm standing up on behalf of all my officers. I want officers to know that it's okay to speak, it's okay to get help.
The lawsuit says DeRoches went on workers' compensation leave for physical and mental health reasons earlier this year. And during this time, he underwent mental health treatment and was recently evaluated by a psychiatrist who said he will not be able to return to work soon. The lawsuit says that in August of this year, DeRoches was told that his police powers had been suspended. In studio, Alex Dieterer, the WHAS 11 Night Team, on your side.
Alex, thank you. A man died tonight in the same area where another pedestrian died just days ago in Louisville. This area of Fern Valley Road, close to I-65, has been reported to be a dangerous area by neighbors. Tonight, just after 6 o'clock, Metro Police says a man who was wearing dark clothing tried to cross the street. A car hit him traveling east on Fern Valley. The driver stayed on the scene with investigators and talking to them. Last week on Friday morning, a woman was killed in the very same area while she was also trying to cross the street. Police in Jeffersonville investigating 2 separate homicides, both happening in just a matter of days. Detectives say 2 men were killed. Thursday's case happened on Copp Avenue. Saturday morning's murder happening on Indiana Avenue. And that's where they found James Truman's body inside his apartment. Less than 2 miles away is where police received a call from a 34-year-old man saying he had been shot. He was later taken to Louisville's University Hospital where he died. Neighbors in Jeffersonville are on edge after the violence.
It's mostly quiet around here pretty much. I mean, everybody here, you know, somehow, somebody knows somebody. And, you know, it's been peaceful and quiet until now.
Police connected a 19-year-old Anthony White to the Copp Avenue case. He currently has a warrant out for his arrest. Police say White does have ties to Jeffersonville and Louisville. A weekend robbery spree across Louisville ended with 2 arrests on Saturday, but Metro Police say they've connected 3 men to 7 robberies. Officers still looking for the 3rd suspect. The string of alleged robberies ended shortly after midnight on Saturday at the Beachmont BP station. According to Metro Police, the suspected driver took off in somebody else's vehicle, and one of the suspected robbers ran on foot to the Waterston Expressway on the ramp. Dontre Crooms on the left is accused of being the driver in that car. Sanchez Brown is accused of robbing people at gunpoint.
Our capacity to do this kind of work and investigation has gotten better since we've had more time for the officers that we've hired since 2020 to get the training that they need to be effective.
Arrest citations say the accused robbers used the blue Ford to block in another car at Total Wine on Shelbyville Road at about 9:30 Friday night and pointing their guns at them, then took the driver's wallet. The former Letcher County, Kentucky sheriff in eastern Kentucky, who's in jail for killing and shooting a judge there, was back in the Letcher County courthouse today. Kentucky State Police say Sean Stein shot and killed District Judge Kevin Mullins in his chambers in the courthouse after an argument on September 19th. In the brief arraignment hearing this morning, the judge entered a not guilty plea on his behalf. She also ruled that there would be no bond.
After significant consideration, given the implications of Marcy's law, community safety concerns, security concerns, the fact that the defendant is in fact charged with a capital offense, together with the provisions of Rule 402, paragraph 1, the defendant shall not be admitted to bond at this time.
Last week, a Letcher County grand jury indicted Steins on 1 count of murder of a public official. A Louisville man is facing charges after being arrested for a sexual assault on the University of Kentucky campus in Lexington. 21-year-old Saif Al-Kafaji was arrested at the Louisville airport on Saturday on charges of sexual abuse and indecent exposure at UK. Police say he assaulted the victim on November 10th as they were walking near the intersection of Rose Street and Euclid Avenue in Lexington. Police say they also connected Al-Kafaji to a separate report of indecent exposure. All right, the weather's changing again. We had temperatures in the 60s today, and Ben, you say the really cold weather is on the way. What, starting with tonight, is it moving in?
A little bit chillier tonight, then really cold later this week. Doug, the rain is mostly off to our east now, and we have sunshine on the way tomorrow. So we're looking at upper 40s to around 50 degrees for that sunshine for your Tuesday. But it looks like the coldest weather since January on the way. And of course, we've got that Thanksgiving forecast coming up.
All right, Ben, thank you very much. All new tonight on the night team. A new program aimed to affordable housing right here in Louisville. The mayor announcing a program forgiving code enforcement debts to develop vacant and blighted properties instead across the city. WHAS11 night team's Clarice Shaley talked to an investor and a realtor about how this will help our housing problem.
And then it got to the point to where, you know, they just didn't know exactly what to do.
Inherited homes sit vacant, collecting back taxes and damage.
Like if you went to the back of the house, you would see that, the walls are gone. So much water damage.
Not to mention the code enforcement violations.
Everything needs to be replaced in the house. It's just too much for a regular homeowner.
It's a daunting task, even for investor Tony Silver. But this Chickasaw property is becoming his next project, thanks to the city's new affordable housing lien forgiveness pilot program.
Because I think it's a game changer when it comes to getting deals done that wouldn't otherwise be able to get done.
The program aims to create affordable housing while redeveloping vacant and blighted properties by forgiving code enforcement liens.
Now that money can be used to put into repairs and they can get a lot more done.
Code enforcement liens are cumbersome for realtor Montre Deal 2.
It can really make or break a transaction, which can really be discouraging towards some of the sellers.
Deal has some cases where sellers don't know they have debt until more digging is done.
It makes it a lot harder. There may be some type of information that haven't gotten to them in a timely manner, so now they owe more than what they thought that they owed.
A dent in the process that will hopefully be fixed with the city's forgiveness program.
Why would you let something sit there and be ugly if you can make it look better?
And when these vacant properties do look better, they must be rented or sold at or below a home value limit determined by HUD.
You also be able to get someone else in the community who would be able to love their home, love the community, would better take care of it versus it letting it just sit there.
A pilot program participants hope they could find a home for in the city's long-lasting plans. In Louisville, Clarice Shaley, WHAS11 Night Team on your side.
Currently, there are more than 1,000 vacant or abandoned homes across Metro Louisville. To qualify for the program, you have to live here in Kentucky, and you do need to meet some criteria here, including having all other debt on the property settled. And they must have a plan to rehab the property with a timeline of the plan and proof of funds. And the property must have been vacant for at least 1 year. Cities like Louisville trying to bounce back to the pre-pandemic foot traffic for tourism. Universities now, like Indiana University Southeast and New Albany, are preparing students to enter the field. The school started a new bachelor degree in tourism and event planning. We learned more about it tonight on the Night Team. Tourism is a growing business in Kentucky, and in the greater Louisville area, it's actually a $3 billion business. The demand isn't going down. Louisville was named a top 50 destination in the New York Times just last year. When asked why they added the program at IU Southeast, the Vice Chancellor of Academic Affairs said, location, location, location.
This particular location in Kentuckiana is rich with tourism and with activities. It's a traveler's destination. And so what we were hearing from industry is that they have more need for qualified workforce in this area. They are looking for professionally trained managers, leaders, planners, organizers, people who can come in and understand the industry.
Along with classes, the program at IU Southeast recognizes how important networking is to a career like this. Students will work on internships, they'll hear guest speakers, and they're going to go to industry events. Some partners already include the Kentucky Derby Festival, Southern Indiana Tourism, and Caesars of Southern Indiana.